And the bar came out there, and he was like, you know, and we all started looking at each other. Because we had the chairs, like, we was lined up. Brothers coming out of the chairs, we had a family and stuff like that. But we came to, it was easy that we came to give a good sign, like a good a judgment, or we was giving like pieces onto them. So they didn't know, but they always had like a good welcome, like, oh, thank you, oh, we're here. That's how it was when we came. And we came down, big as fuck. I'm talking about big as fuck. Decked the fuck out like gold, decked out with all kinds of shit. You ain't never seen this before. And thick, like, we was like decked out. I'm talking about like, what the fuck? And we came down, we was like, doosh. Bro started looking at each other. And the bro was like, oh, he did this long ass roar. He's, and all people was like, and we all was like, ah! It was like, do 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 do. Then we was playing the fuck out of the motherfucking drum.
Are you for real?
Yes. I had this dream, bro. That shit was so serious. It was like we came with peer pressure. And these people were scared. Like, if we came, they only do two things when we came. Cause they was like, oh shit, you know? And we came, was like, oh fuck, either you scared? Or it was like, oh, they finna give us blessings. You know what I'm saying? We came on that motherfucking shit. Oh my gosh. Brother, I ain't gonna lie, bro. The way Bar came out that motherfucking shit was stupid. You know what I mean? He said, he looked this way. We all was looking at each other. He said, oh, that shit echoed throughout the fucking city.
God damn.
We said, oh. And then we started walking down that bitch. Woo! A cake was, it looked like a cake, but it wasn't a cake. That bitch was hanging behind us. Brother was coming down. Why you get down? Why you get bitchy?
How tall was he?
We was tall. We had some height on us. We was tall. But it wasn't even about the fact that we was tall. It was the fact that how decked out we was. The power that we came in with, the presence. The children that came in, it was like it was like, the children was serious. It was like, that's just, that's how the chairs came in. Even the chairs was alive. They came in style, you know. We came at it, and the mouth of the cherry said, like it opened. Like it opened, it was like, and we just came out that bit, man. It was like two things. Blessings or curses. That's how it was. So the people was gonna be happy regardless, even if they were scared or not. Like they was like they knew that they had to come in the right spirit type. Like they had to come in the right spirit. So they didn't come in the right spirit, it was like they was just gonna be like, it was, we could sense that shit. They could sense when we was coming. They sensed when it was coming. That's how they knew. They would get stuff prepared. They got the stuff prepared and everything. Because before I had fast forwarded, so cause I didn't know you was gonna really be recorded. But they would get stuff prepared and people would set everything up. So when we came to that spot, when we would land, that's where everybody would be giving gifts. They would give blessings. They would be giving all kind of, you know, everything they had, they'd be offering it up, giving it up. So that shit was serious, man. That was my little dream I had. That's Daniel's favorite dream.
You should have did a fucking testimony on it.
I think I did. I didn't do it. I should have did it though. I should have did it.
Damn.
Spirit on me to do it, I'm gonna do it.
You got me when you said they were playing the fuck out them drums.
Yeah, they was.
Boop, boop,
they was
boop,
boop, boop. Cause the heathen was hype. They was like, oh, it was so many bad females, man. It was so many bad.
They had the garments on?
No, they dressed it different. We was decked out. They looked good, but we was decked out. We was decked the fuck out. But they all looked good. But they actually they looked at wealthy. We looked at like forever.
They look wealthy, look like sovereignty.
Yeah, we looked at like forever. We were gonna have the best of 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 the best.
Romans 8:18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. And then let's go to Joel. Joel 2:28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. All right, as always, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and thanks to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. That's Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim or Kakadash, as well as the double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone, and to the rest of the Akim and elders around the globe, bringing this word out within sincerity, truth, and diligence. And this was, I believe, from the brother Amawan Palal 4 of the Prophets in Babylon camp. This I saw this vision last night, and it's got me turned up. I must have played it 10 times already because it was so clear and vivid, of what the kingdom in the glory in the kingdom of heaven is going to be like, because that's a complete flip side of what, Jake is living like right now. And that's a complete faith booster. It's got me really turned up in the spirit. And there's a beautiful vision by the brother Amawan Palal and of the Prophets in Babylon camp down in Tampa, Florida. So let's get some scriptures speaking on, the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American men coming out of their current low state, basically, not basically, being slaves under the rest of these nations, and then to the vision that this brother just explained. So let's start in Baruch, the Apocrypha, the 4th chapter, Baruch 4, verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from Yahweh, for thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. Okay, so and when it says the neighbors, that's talking about these heathen nations. They are the neighbors, and the elder Gabar Yehoiada, I got a couple clips saved on that as well, and you're gonna see the ancient land of Israel and how these heathen nations are our neighbors. So let's get a few more on these heathen nations being our slaves in the kingdom of heaven, because just like we're their slaves, they're gonna be our slaves. So the greatest role reversal of all time. Isaiah 14, starting at verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers, these heathen nations, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. And right now, pursuant to, I believe, Baruch 3:8, we are yet this day in our captivity. Let me just make sure, I'm following the scriptures accordingly, and not misquoting the Lord and Khan. Baruch 3 verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. And right now, Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are still in captivity. We are still paying for the sins of our forefathers. And if you know the scriptures are based in reincarnation, we are our forefathers. So we're paying for the sins of our past lifetimes. But just like that, the heathen nations, they're going to pay as well. They're not exempt as well. So let's go back to Isaiah 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And who dealt the most treacherous with us? That's the so-called white people, the nation of Edom. Esau, Edom, brother of Jacob, he's dealt treacherously with his brother the most. And that's also pursuing to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, starting at verse 5, that all these heathen nations have joined up and become confederate against the nation of Israel to take us down. And we're currently still living in that aftermath right now. But just like they dealt treacherously with us, we're through the righteousness of the Lord, we're going to deal treacherously with them. And let's get this in Revelation 10, Revelation 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. Okay, and let's go more into that captivity, because what's that captivity? Slavery. And the scriptures speak upon a cup, and that cup is referring to slavery as well. So let's get this in Jeremiah 49, verse 12. For thus said the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. And what is that cup, again, that the scriptures are speaking of? It's talking about slavery. So those that weren't supposed to drink of it, the Israelites, surely drank of it. And we look at the 12 tribes chart. You look at all these nations, the 12 tribes of Israel, we are all catching hell. Each and every one of us, Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Guatemalans to Panamanians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, North American Indians, Seminole Indians, Argentinians to Chileans, Colombians to Uruguayans, Mexicans. Also, you got your Nigerians, Brazilians, Jamaicans, which would be the West Indians, and your speckled birds, because we were scattered everywhere. We've suffered so many rounds of slavery. We were scattered around the whole world, and you got your speckled birds that look like the other nations, but whose forefathers' bloodlines go back to the Israelites. So we surely drink of the cup. They gonna have to drink of that as well. Let's go back to Revelation, the 18th chapter, starting at verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. So just like we, since about, late 1400s, 1500s, 500-600 years have done slavery under you heathen nations. And even before that, but the last about 500 years mainly under Esau, Edom, you heathen nations are going to have to fill a double. You're going to get 1,000 years of hardcore bondage where you're going to have to serve the children of Israel. And we look, and how did the majority of the southern kingdom Israelites, we got Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, how did the majority of the southern kingdom Israelites get to the Americas? Through slave ships. And these are just 3 pics I pulled up off Google of slave ships. And this is how we got here. And you could see this, and look at Esau Edom. Esau gonna pay. Just because he ain't paid yet, don't mean he not gonna pay. And going back to pursuant to Baruch 3 verse 8, we are still yet this day in our captivity. So let's go to a prophecy, Deuteronomy 28, the last verse at 68, speaking on how we got here. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, by the way whereof I spake, by the let's start again. Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And when it says no man shall buy you, if I go to jail and I have no bail, that means, or I got bail, but no one's able to bail me out. That means no one's able to free me out of that captivity. And we are still in captivity. No man is bought us until Yahweh Shai comes back in the glory of the clouds and angels and rescues his elect. And then the rest of the nation of Israel can be born through the seed and loins of the 1/3 that made it out of this last hell of captivity. So let's go and let's get Genesis 49 real quick, because the general Ira Zakah, beloved brother, the head of the servants of Yahweh Shai camp out here in Las Vegas, and he's really stressed us to get Genesis 49 down, and I see why. And we can see starting at 49 verse 8, that's speaking on Judah, so-called Negroes. Let's read this real quick. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. And that's talking about, Judah is the head of all 12 tribes. Let's go back to our 12 tribes chart. Judah's the head, and Judah sets the trends. Your Michael Jacksons, your Michael Jordans, etc. That's the tribe of Judah, and the rest, not only the world, but the rest of Israel vibrates under Judah. And it also speaks on he's a lion's whelp, who shall raise him up, who shall rouse him up. So he's the head of the tribes, and the rest of the other 11 tribes follow after Judah. And it speaks that thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, because who's directly under the captivity of Esau Edom? The so-called Negroes, so-called black people, so-called African Americans. We're directly under this devil, the so-called white man's captivity. And it says we will tread upon his neck. And the beloved elder Gabar Yahawada of GMS Hawaii beautifully breaks this down. Let's get a couple clips on that.
Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So in our land, in our new borders, we're going to rule over our oppressors, these other nations, especially the nation of Edom. Okay? In our land, we're going to take them captives, whose captives we were, and they're going to build up our land. You see, like Saudi Arabia right now is one big sandbox. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a big portion of this, or a vast majority, all this area right here is going to serve as one of the main theaters for the World War III. There's a lot of death going to be there. So a lot of them bodies going to get buried there. One thing about the death, when it gets these bodies, when they get buried, they make the land extremely fertile. So this land is going to be fertilized again. How the Lord has set it up for us in the ancient world. All we had was this. Slovakia. Okay, I'll have to get another picture of Slovakia. Get another picture of this. Yeah, I'll use this one. Yeah, I'll use this. Well, brothers can see this right here. So In the ancient world, this is all we had. This is what these Edomites are in right now. They just in this portion right now. And these other nations, they're fighting and destroying each other. But these are our borders. And they were small, But in the kingdom of heaven, our borders are going to look like this, And the house of Judah going to take this area right here. This is ancient Edom, this land right here, which is modern day Jordan, which is southeast of Israel today. That's going to be ours, man. This area right here. But this is where we lived at in the ancient world, and our enemies were living around us, man. You used to have Moab and Ammon right here, and you had the Philistines around here, the Syrians up here. But guess what? Our land's gonna go from this to this, man. The Lord said He's gonna expand our borders. So when we go up 3 times a year, no one's gonna try to covet our land and take it. Let's go back to the precepts.
And that was a beautiful breakdown by the elder. And once again, you can see why the Holy Scriptures refer to these heathen nations as our neighbors, because they actually used to be our neighbors in the ancient land of Israel. But the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to expand it, as you can see on the screen, when our kingdom comes. So let's go back to Isaiah, speaking on, the heathens. They're going to have to pay. They're going to have to be subject under us, like how we are subject under them. Isaiah 61, starting at verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord Yahweh is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good things unto the meek. And that word meek is going to come up, because the meek shall inherit the earth. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Okay, and we go further down. Let's skip to verse 4. We'll go through verse 4 through 6. And this is speaking on the heathen nations again, and they shall build up old wastes. They shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. And the strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. And through the Spirit, I believe that alien is referring to you so-called white people, the nation of Edom. If any brothers in the comment know for sure, please feel free to place that in the comments. But I'm pretty sure that's speaking on Esau, Edom. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our power. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. And once again, that vision that this beloved Akim Amawan Palal described, that the Lord put in his spirit while he was sleeping, that was gloriful. A lot of glory in that vision. And in this verse, I believe verse 1, yep, right there, it says, unto the meek. And who are the meek right now? The Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. We are the meek. We are in a lowly state. We are still going back to Baruch 3:8, yet this day in our captivity. But, that's not going to be forever. We're going to get that glory, as well as pursuing to how we started in Romans 8, verse 18. The suffering of this present time isn't to be compared to the glory that shall be revealed within us. Psalms 37, verse 11. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. Let's get another one speaking on the meek in Matthew 5, verse 5. Blessed, and this in red, Yahushai speaking. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Okay, so it's cut into the point. And now let's get a couple more about, being the meek, being in a lowly state, and in our current state of shame right now, because brothers is broke, brothers is catching hell, our women are our enemies. This is You know, you got the basis of all man up high above us. Our women want to follow all the wicked philosophies and doctrines that he brings out. It's embarrassing. It's shameful, but it's not going to be like that forever. This is a little timeout, a little learning lesson that the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, placed upon us for going against them. And that's a righteous judgment. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 31. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? Okay. And also let's get Zephaniah. Zephaniah 3 at 19. Because we you know, right now we're in poverty, but we seek riches to come. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. And that was completely this brother's vision. He was talking about how the chariots, especially the sound he made, you know, the chariots, imagine what color the chariots look like. And for anyone listening, chariots are these so-called UFOs. This is a picture, I believe, that was taken in Russia. That's a chariot right there. This is one I took in the streets of Las Vegas, North Centennial Hills, Las Vegas. That's a straight chariot. And the scriptures talk about the Lord, he cometh with clouds. So we're going to come in these UFOs, and it's going to be a lot of glory on those as well. So just like, you know, we got cars and vehicles and trains in this kingdom, the Lord and his angels, they have vehicles as well. And they're not like of this world. They're, you know, and that's what we're going to also inherit in the kingdom of heaven. So let's get 2 more scriptures and we'll close out. This is going to be Psalms 113. 113 for it. And before I get that, this scripture is weighing on my spirit right now. Contain city come. Oops, Salakia. So this is Hebrews 13 verse 14. For we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. And that's our current state right now. We don't have no continuing city. Our kids don't really inherit shit. In the most famous and wealthiest of our nation, even more messed up, they kids still don't inherit nothing. You look at Aretha Franklin, died with no will. Prince, the record labels took all his royalties, and you name it. Go down the list. None of these Jakes who make it to the tippy top that a Jake can make it, Bill Cosby, you name it, died peacefully. They always die under some type of shame, drug abuse, getting shot, you know, getting defamed, and one after another. Because it's a corruptible crown they achieved in this kingdom under the devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But in the kingdom to come, we seek a crown that's incorruptible in a city that can continue, which was shown in this beloved brother's vision. So let's get this Psalms 113 starting at verse 4. The Lord is high above all nations, and his glory above the heavens. Who is like unto the Lord our power, who dwelleth on high, who humbleth himself to behold the things that are in heaven and in earth. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth the needy out of the dunghill, that he may set him princes even with the princes of his people. And we are in the dunghill. We are in the trenches, as Jake likes to say. We're in the trenches. We're in the mud right now, you know. But the Lord, just like he placed us in the trenches, going back to Deuteronomy 28:68, he put us our ass on slave ships. He's gonna also give us that glory in the day to come, which isn't far away, because World War III can pop off at any second. Jacob's trouble is right around the corner. And we got to get to that through much tribulation to inherit the kingdom. Okay, and this is our last scripture, because in this wicked ass kingdom under the devil, like Scar from Lion King, can't nobody get no rest. Especially the Israelites. Nothing gets rest. The animals, the air, the water, the trees. No one gets rest under this wicked devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, because he is not fit to rule. But in this scripture, it speaks about us getting our rest. 2nd Ezra 8 verse 52. For unto you is paradise opened. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plentiness is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. And when we have those new bodies that change in a twinkling of an eye, we're not going to sin, because the ways of sin are death. That's why we're going to be immortal, where the Lord is going to put the scriptures in our inward parts, and we're not going to go off anymore. We're going to teach these heathen nations, our neighbors, to do righteousness. But the only heathen nation that's not going to survive after that 1,000 years of hardcore bondage are you so-called white people, including you, Amalek, you wish people, because you're the wicked, and we can't give you any type of slither to dwell upon the rest of the heathen nations, because you're going to do wickedly. You are the serpent and the devil that the Bible speaks of. But this was a very beautiful testimony, vision, and dream that this brother Amawan Palal of the Prophets in Babylon camp down in Tampa, Florida, shared with us, and it's really got me turned up and built up in the spirit. So I pray and hope that this lesson and breakdown was edifying to you, and shalom to all of you. The Wada.